What's up, YouTube? Lex here with the answer to a question I get asked a lot. And it's a very important question, and it stares you in the face as soon as you start the game. Where do I settle my city, and what makes a good city? And this decision will have far reaching implications for your game. A poor city will slow your whole game down, and a great city will accelerate it, provided you aren't a player who is completely AFK and just logs in every once in a while to start a research or whatever. So, first of all, why is your city location so important? Well, your city location determines your honor circle, which determines which stashes you can get honor from and which layers and AI castles you can attack. And it also determines which markets you have access to. And also, it just determines your general logistical area on the world. For example, if you start out here in Georgia, right, you are so far from the rest of the world, which could be a good thing if you want to play isolationist. But like, if all your friends are over here, like, these guys are supporting these guys. But I mean, the travel time here is probably 36 hours for a fully upgraded army. So, logistics are a factor. Now, when you start, it will let you pick a county. You can abandon once if you don't like where it assigns you, and then you pick a county again, and that's it. Like, you have to wait another week before you can abandon. So let's take a look at my first village. I wanted to be in Denmark, even though it's not the best region, but it was small, and the current, when I started, the war zone was between the UK and Scandinavia, and there was a lot of stuff going back and forth. And I thought, okay, I could get in here and be politically relevant and be kind of between the two logistics and go with either side, right? So I sighted in Denmark. I didn't like where it put me, somewhere up here. So I abandoned and tried again, forgetting that I couldn't abandon more than once per week because it had been many years since I played. And it ended up sighting me here. So this is okay. But overall, this is a bad city, right? Now, here's why. First of all, this whole area, okay, is dead zone. No markets, no AI, no stashes. You don't want dead zone near your city. So water is bad. Sometimes there's a small dead zone between counties, a slightly bigger area between parishes. You can usually ignore that, like here. You can usually ignore that, though. But being on the coast is the worst. This right here would probably be the worst parish on this in this entire country, right? It's far from all the markets. A large portion of its honor circle. So this is your honor circle, right? Your city's honor circle looks like this. And this is the region with which you can get honor for stashes and attacking AI. And all of this area is wasted because nothing can spawn up here. But imagine if you're up here, then all of this is wasted, right? So we've already set up some of our most important criteria, right? We want to avoid water and avoid dead zone between counties whenever possible. And if you're sighting your second village or later, you don't want them too close to each other if you can avoid it. Because honor circle overlap is as bad as not having a usable honor circle in most cases. It's an area that you can't access or use from one of your villages. So I made my second village. Your second village will almost always be quite close to your first, simply because it's expensive to build one far away. But a lot of people make the mistake of having this village and then settling here, right? You're going to have the exact same honor circle, almost, if you do that. And you'll only be able to get things in here. In fact, this is an example of a stash right now that we're going to get honor for, because it's in the red area. So I sighted my village down here to try to get the minimal overlap in our honor circles, right? So you can see this village can collect this stash and this stash. This village is too far away to get honor. So right, avoid overlap between your villages, avoid dead space in the water, and between counties, okay? Another thing that can be actually beneficial is inactive local players. Now, this could go either way. You might want inactive local players, because then there's more layers for you to attack and more stashes for you to get. However, that will also mean higher prices in the markets because they aren't selling things. Maybe no goods availability in the markets at all. You won't be able to buy wood and stone if you need it. And if you get a powerful castle stuck in your parish, you might end up with a -20 popularity hit that you can't clear. For example, I just settled a village last night near a prince, and he has quite a nasty castle spawned in his parish, right? Like, what are you going to do about this? You know? If you settle in a parish with an inactive high rank, sure, you'll get all the honor from stashes and layers, but when this pops up and threatens to give you -20 popularity, which kills your ability to recruit troops fast, how are you going to get rid of it, right? So, again, consider whether you want an active or an inactive parish, depending on your level in the game, right? The fourth consideration is where you want to project military power. Again, these are just many of the same considerations from vassals. If you're in a house, like we're in house 10, right? Now, so black. I want to be in an area where black is. So I don't have a whole lot of reason to project military power over here in Russia, right? But I do here in France, because as you can see, we own France, but look, like France is a hot zone. So that's why I settled a new village over here, so that I could be near to and between my main villages here and the hot zone. It's a sort of a logistical connecting village, and then I can settle more villages down here later. So location to where you want to be in the politics of your world, that can also be an important factor that you want to take into consideration. Your distance from your other supplying villages can be important. If your merchants can't send wood and stone, you will have a much slower uptake. And this is actually happening to me. I settled our first two villages in Denmark, but then I took a war zone village down here in Italy. And it takes a very long time to send goods. So this village is just developing a bit slower, because it doesn't have the wood and stone necessary to do a lot of the things that it needs to do, right? So that's slowing it down, but it's okay. It's a third village, right? It's not really an economic village. And yeah, these other concerns are really for vassals only. So that pretty much covers all the considerations you want. So to summarize, when you start a new world and you pick a county, try to pick one with a lot of water, not a lot of peninsulas, right? A peninsula with water is the worst. These right here are the worst parishes in the game. Except that they secure a county, right, with only 7 parishes. So politically, they're some of the best parishes in the game. But for starting out, look how much dead area there is. Now, as it happens, these high-rank players are not clearing their lairs and bandit camps, so you could actually do okay here as a new player, probably. But there are so few markets and so few stashes, this is a terrible place to start. Avoid getting stuck in places that look like that, right? Don't be the guy with this parish, right? Look how bad this parish is. I don't even think this guy... He can barely reach his own stash in his own parish, right? He's got water on 3 sides, and the water does nothing to help you tactically. It doesn't slow military attacks. It does nothing. So, again, think carefully about your villages. You only get one chance to abandon before waiting another week, and you can't wait another week if you're starting on a world. It handicaps you too much. So, good luck out there finding your villages, and if you have any questions, toss me them in the comments, and I will definitely check in. Good luck out there.